A section.
Date of birth, please.
26th October 1946.
What's your profession, sir?
My profession is politician.
Mr. Jallow, I would abridge information concerning your biography. You are very, very well known in this country, so we would skip your biography and would go straight to 1994. Tell us what work you were doing in 1994.
Thank you very much. In 1994, I was the Minister of Agriculture for the Republic of the Gambia.
Until when, in 1994, did you cease to be Minister of Agriculture?
Until our government was overthrown by the military on the 22nd July 1994.
Can you tell us a little about that overthrow? Just a little about the overthrow and what it implied, what it meant for you and people who were in the same category as yourself?
It was really a surprise and a shock to most of us that the military will intervene in overthrowing a democratically, constitutionally elected government of the Gambian people. A government whose record on governance, human rights, and rule of law was one of the outstanding qualities among all OAU members.
You indicated that this happened on 22nd July 1994. Apart from losing your position as Minister of Agriculture, did anything else happen to you?
Yes. On the 31st of July, I lost my position, and then 3 days after, there was an announcement that all ministers should hand over themselves to the NIA. So I called a senior police officer called Nick Williams, who was a friend of mine. He came, picked me up, and took me to the NIA, where I met most of my cabinet colleagues.
This institution you call NIA, did it have a different name at the time?
Yes, at that time it was NSS.
And what would NSS stand for?
National Security Services.
And you said when you reported, you found members of your cabinet colleagues there. Do you remember who you found there?
Yes, I found Kamabaji was there, LK Jabang was there, Landin Jallow Sonko was there, and myself. I heard Hassan Jallow was detained, but he was not there. I heard he was at the Army headquarters. But then Yahya Sise was there. And the minister then, okay, Omar A Jallow was there. James Gay was there. And Buba Balde was also there.
When you arrived at
I'm sorry, Matthew Balde also.
When you arrived at the NIA headquarters, what happened?
They just took me where these people were. It's a big hall where we were all kept, and we were giving a tarpaulin to lie on, and that was our home.
Were you provided with any other facilities?
We were not provided with any other facilities. Food was brought for us by the people at the institution, the NSS, but they didn't allow any visitors or anything. We were just kept there like that.
Were you informed of the reasons for your detention?
We were not informed till about 3 days after, when we just saw a group of soldiers headed by Yahya Jammeh, the then chairman of the AFPRC, coming there and addressing us about the rampant corruption and flamboyant lifestyles that we were using, and saying that for them they are just sympathetic, but all of us, if executed, they will be rightly executed, and just saying a lot of things against the PPP regime.
Did anybody respond to him?
Fortunately, I responded. And I would like to refer you to Ibrahim Sankare, the present spokesperson of the president, because he was then the reporter of the Point. And the next day Point used to report exactly what I said to Yahya Jammeh. Because I stood up and said, Mr. Jammeh, you have taken over a government that had respect for rule of law, democracy, and good governance, and it was the safe haven of all West Africans who are running away from despotism. And if you do anything that is contrary to this, then you are a traitor and a betrayal to the Gambian people and the Gambian nation. And I told him that in the presence of everybody.
How did he react?
He reacted by just telling me that I expect such thing from you, because he was very close to me. He was always in my office or in my home, and I did a lot of things for him, because his father, when I was in Buyam, was my friend. When his father died, he came to my office. I told Singul Nyasi and others to come accompany him, take the dead body from the mortuary in Banjul to Mayok, where his father stayed, and I provided a vehicle and money to bury the father.
Did he remember that?
He remembers it and said it everywhere.
Did he give you any treatment that recognized the fact that you have had such a relationship in which you gave him favors?
For him personally, he has never done that. It is other officers, like the deputy chairperson then, Sana Sabali.
Yahya Jammeh was the chairman, wasn't he?
Yes.
And he had ultimate responsibility, didn't he?
Yes, for me, I think he has ultimate responsibility, but also when you know that you are being asked to do something that is wrong, you have a right, if you have conscience, to refuse.
After that meeting, did anything happen to you and your colleagues?
We were detained for about 10 days, and we were released and put under house arrest, with always having 3 military personnel at our gates to check who is coming to see us and who is going out with a register.
For how long did that situation persist?
If I can remember rightly, it persisted for over 2-3 months.
Do you recall events of November 1994?
Yes, in November 1994, I was reading The Observer on the 4th of November, I think, 1994, when I read that the ruling council had decided that they will stay for 2 years and hand over to a civilian government. I called up the press and make a press conference condemning their decision to stay for two years, and saying that they were imposing themselves on the Gambian people, and they have no right to rule this country through the barrel of a gun.
Did that pronouncement go down well with the junta?
It didn't go down well, because on the 6th of November, I was sitting in my home when I saw a truck comes in. Sana Sabali jumped off the truck with some other people, but Omar Jallow and others, who made sure they threatened us, beat us up, me, in the presence of my family, slapped me, put me in the truck, and went around, collect Omar Sise, the former Minister of External Affairs, whom I forgot to name as those I met at the NSS, went and collected Kamabaji. When we met Kamabaji praying, but Sana stopped him from praying to put up in the truck. Then the truck come back and drove through Serekunda and Bakau so that the people will see us at the back of the truck. And then we ended up at the army headquarters in Bakau, where we were made to line up. And Bachsamba Jallow and others were trying to press pistols in our mouths. And I refused. And they were so angry with me that they put us in the truck again, took us to mile 2. And when we arrived in mile 2, we met Sadibou Haidara, Edward Singate, and Yankuba Toure. They brought our chairs, asked the...
We have a witness here who appeared before the commission today. He is called Bachsamba Jallow, a teacher who also lived in Farato or taught in Farato. Are you referring to the same person or this is a different person?
No, Bachsamba Jallow that came here today is a teacher living in Pirang. And he was one of those arrested with me in October 1995 and kept at the army headquarters for 13 months and subjected us to different ways of torture for many, many days.
Essentially, this person, these two Bachsamba Jallows are different.
Yes, they are different. Okay. This Bachsamba Jallow, the witness here, is from Nyamina. The Bachsamba Jallow I'm referring is from Farato.
Thank you very much for that clarification, sir. Now you said that when you were taken to mile 2, Sana Sabali, Edward Singate, Yankuba Toure, and Sadibou Haidara were present, and they ordered Bachsamba Jallow and 20 others to beat you. Were you the only person who was beaten that day?
I was the only person beaten because, as Sana Sabali said, they should set an example on me because I refused to keep my mouth shut.
You challenged them, and they did not agree to being challenged, right?
Yes, I thought it was my right as a Gambian and as a leader who people were looking up to me for leadership. I thought leadership is not only when the going is nice. Leadership qualities are more recognized when the going gets tough.
Tell us the scenery, how the setting was organized.
The setting was organized. Sana and others were sitting as their senior council members, and they put the line of the ministers and the other prison officers were watching whilst these people are doing what they are doing on me. Unfortunately, I was talking to one of these TVs recently, is it ITV or something? Live, when somebody rang from England to say, apologize to me and said, I was there when that thing was happening to you, but we regret it very much, one Mr. Bojang, I can fully remember.
It was like the junta watching the gladiator being sent to the lion's den.
But fortunately, God was there to make sure I don't go to the lion's den.
You agree with that description?
That's right.
Thank you, thank you, sir. Now, for that time, after the beating, what did they do to you?
They threw me into a cell and took all the other ministers to the remand wing. And after 24 hours, that was about 48 hours, that was on the 9th, we were all packed in a truck and taken to the NSS headquarters.
Okay. Before that, let's talk about the beating. Did you sustain any injuries?
Sustained a lot of injuries. I forgot, but I wanted to bring the haftan I was wearing. I'm still keeping it with the blood stains, and I'll look for it, and I'll bring it.
You can send it to us. You can bring it later. We'd be interested in seeing that. Can you describe what injuries you sustained?
I sustained injury on my back, my hands, and on my face. because they were kicking, beating some with these plastic, these things, some kicking me, some slapping, just trying to satisfy the three senior members of the council who are sitting there.
Let's get this straight. Who was there? Initially, you said Sana Sabali, Edward Singate, Yankuba Ture, and Sadibu Haidara. Now you said three.
Sorry, the four.
All right, thank you.
They were all present.
So we were all present. Yeah, thank you very much for that clarification. Now you said the other ministers were taken to remand wing, and you were taken to security wing. Do you recall which security wing you were taken to?
The #1 security wing.
Can you tell us what's the difference between being in remand and being in security wing #1?
In the remand, as much as you are in detention, you have a bit of freedom and liberty there, and some social amenities extended to you. But in the security wing, they open you at 8 o'clock, you queue, the 12 of us, to go to the toilet, go to the bathroom, they close you again at 9:30 till tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning.
And what were the conditions?
Because it is so near the swamps and all the mosquito wires were out, so virtually our best friends were the mosquitoes. And it was this, the cell is so small that I can just make this and I will touch the two, and then the bed was just a wooden plank put on some bricks.
How about rodents for company?
Of course, they were all there. We have to tolerate them because the situation demanded it, and the food was terrible.
And you were there in this condition for a day, right?
I was there for a day, and the next day we were parked in a truck and taken to the NSS headquarters.
And what happened there at the NSS headquarters?
We spent the day there, and on the 9th in the morning, we had trucks and a lot of noise. All ministers were brought out of the NSS cells.
Now, by ministers, you mean former ministers?
All the former ministers. And we were made to line up at the door, and then we saw Sana Sabali, Sadibu Haidara, and Fafambai, who was then the Minister of Justice, coming with a lot of soldiers. And then when he arrived, he said there has an information that all of you should have been executed because you are corrupt and you have done so many bad things to Gambia. But the council, because they are human, is going to only set an example on one person. That is Omar Jallow. He's going to be executed on Friday by his firing squad. And then he said all the other ministers should be released, and they start calling the names of the ministers. And they all left. Before they leave, Lamin Sise, my friend, started crying and shook my hand. And there was something in my hand. When I look at it, it was a small juju. I put it in my pocket. And I told him, I have heard Sana's words, but I have not heard it from God yet. Just pray for me. They left. Then I was thrown in the cell. The next day, fortunately, was 11 November. So they had no time for me.
Why didn't they have time for you?
Because they were busy killing each other.
Tell us what you know about that.
Fortunately, I was having two guards. One called Jane from Nyomi, Sika, and one called Juve from Kombo Sifo. They came and told me, Mr. Jallow, there is a lot of serious problems going on at the police depot. But we are going to open the gate behind. If we see them coming for you, just climb over the wall and we will tell them that some security people have come to pick you up already. I said, okay. But fortunately, they never came for me. It was only after Sambaba, the then director of NIA came to my cell and said, oh, today, Sana did a good job. Sana is a brave man. He was killing these people like he was killing bugs. He was killing Abidjunu Fala Kodabo. I told him, Samba, I'm sorry.
You just spoke in vernacular. I think that is Mandinka. Can you translate exactly what you said in Mandinka? Translate it to English.
So Samba, the Director General of NIA, came and said, Sana Sabali is a brave person, he's a hero, because he was killing the rebel soldiers like bugs. Then I questioned him. I said, my brother, are you proud of arresting a person, stripping the person naked, and bayoneting him or shooting him? Is that bravery? Are there no law courts now? There is no justice, there is no process. He asked these people to put me in the cell.
Did he respond to?
No, he didn't respond. He just asked them to put me in the cell.
For how much longer did you remain in detention during that time?
When the 11th November attack happened, my wife became worried because all the ministers were released and I was the only one. So she took it upon herself to go to the American embassy and the British embassy. And these ambassadors, because they knew me very well, accompanied her to the State House to see Sana Sabali. And before that, they went to the Minister of External Affairs and then to Mrs. Fatmata Tambajang, who is my aunt. And my wife asked them to go to her because she was the Minister of Health. She accompanied them to Sana and to Yahya. And because of the ambassador's preso, they asked Fatmata Tambajang to pick me up at the NIA in her own minister car and took me home.
So this would be the second time you were arrested and released.
Thank you, yes.
And I'm sure that wasn't the last time you were arrested.
No, I was arrested on several occasions.
Can you tell us the next one after November 11th? I took note of the fact that you're looking at a document. Can you let us know what the document is about?
I just put all the real arrests I had before.
So it's the list of arrests that you had suffered, right?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us the next one after the November?
The next one was when I was sitting at home. They came and arrested me and my friend Ali Koroma Keba Keta, the late Keba Keta was a childhood friend, and Yunusi, who's my aunt's son, and said that they had information that a lady has gone to report that I went with these my friends to beat her up in her home.
Do you recall when this thing took place?
I think this was after November, really. No, sorry, this was after November when it was 2001, if I can.
Yes, perhaps the 2001
will come later.
Will come later. Now, if I recall from our previous discussions, you were arrested together with other PPP officials who were detained at Fajara Barracks. But before that, you were in fact arrested in October 1995. Could you recall that?
In October 1995, around the 14th or the 13th, I was sitting in my home when I had some people coming into my home, and these were security personnel. They came and arrested me and took me to the army camp in Bakau.
At the time of your arrest, did they tell you what you were being arrested for?
No, unfortunately, for all the 22 or 23 arrests, they never told me why I'm being arrested. You just arrest me and take me to the detention center where they're taking me.
They took you to Fajara Barracks. Tell us what happened there.
When I arrived in Fajara Barracks, I saw Usain Nunjai and MC Cham. And then in the old dilapidated area in which I saw a lot of people there. They were all detainees.
Tell us who this Ousseynou Njie was and who MC Cham is.
Ousseynou Njie is the son of the wealthy Gambian businessman Alhaji Musa Njie, and he was the first managing director of the Commercial and Development Bank, and he was nominated member of parliament up to the coup-d'état. MC Cham was the first minister of information and tourism, and he became minister of education, youth and sports, and he is the one who started the youth week in this country. Then he became minister of finance and economic affairs under the PPP regime.
And who else did you see detained there?
I saw a lot of people. Saying if I have the list, I have it here.
Could you take it out?
If you can allow me to. We had Alhaji MC Cham, myself, Ousseynou Njie, Alhaji Jobate Mane, Seni Faye, Landing Kamara, Bachsamba Jallow, Bakari Kamara, Ismaila Jawara, Mama Jawara, Njundu Jawara, Malang Fati, Sarani Jata, Omar Ba, Sirif Biai, Alhaji Mori Keba Sedikan, Masani Sedikan, Raif Diab, Mustafa Sise, Babukar Mbaye Sise, Fa Keba Sise, Fode Sise, Yaya Dabo, Yaya Sedili, Keba Tunkara, Mustafa Diba, Sidi Sane, Fanding Conte, Ousseynou Dabo, Koso Telo, Adama Sise, Ibrahima Solo Sonko, Alhaji Mamadi Sabali, Landing Kasama, Muhammadu Sedi Khan, Amadou Jallow, Usman Jallow, Lamin Kanyi, Usman Sane, Dabo Kuli, Ansumana Fadera, Buna Kebe, Modu Kebe, Alamin Panne.
When you were brought to Fajara Barracks and you saw all these people there, did the people who arrest you do anything to you?
Yes, they took off under a tree, and whilst we were standing there under guard, we saw two vehicles coming, and about 20 or 30 state guards jump out of the vehicles and just come and strip all three of us naked.
Who was stripped naked?
Myself, MC Cham, and Ousseynou Njie. And they start beating us recklessly. They were led by Musa Jammeh. They call him Malia Mungu.
Excuse me, may I ask members of the audience to respect the commission and not to testify? Let them not provide any information either to the witness or to the commission. The witness is testifying under oath. I hope that is noted. Thank you. Yes, you may proceed.
And then we saw Almamo Mane and so many others. And one is, I think it's Jammeh, he died. He was the head from the state guards. But other people joined them, like Bubakar Ba, whom I saw on television. Now he's promoted, he's Lieutenant Colonel. He was then with the training school. He's from Bunyadu. He's called Bubakar Ba. He was the one who deliberately bit me on my eye and broke my eye. And he comes every morning. Almamo Mane and Bubakar Ba comes every morning to remind us that we are waiting for August's command, and we'll kill all of you, cut you into pieces, and throw you to the dogs. And for the first 1 month, we were sleeping on the ground, on the sand. And they refused for us to take a bath, to wash our face, or to change our clothes. It is after the 1 month that Babukar Jata, then army commander, came to visit. And he said, in the presence of everybody, Uncle OJ, I'm sorry, it's not my army that brought you here, but it's the state guards that brought you here for us to keep you. And he told the people, why are you allowing those sleep on this type of this? Then they went and brought tarpaulins and spread it, and for the next 12 months, we were sleeping on these tarpaulins.
Thank you very much for that answer. Let me just take you back a little bit to just clarify some issues. You mentioned one Ba, who you said, Boubacar Ba, who you said participated in torturing you. In fact, he's the one who broke your eye, quote unquote. Do you know this Boubacar Ba?
Yeah, I know. If I see him, I'll know him. He's from Bunyadu. I know him very well. I know he's in the army, his brother is in the police.
And do you know which position he is in presently?
Well, the last time I saw him on the television, not long ago, and somebody addressed him as Lieutenant Colonel, I think. When we were being tortured, he was, I think, a sergeant major with the training school in the depot there.
So this Boubacar Ba is still serving in the Gambia National Army as a lieutenant colonel.
Is still serving in the National Army as a lieutenant colonel.
And this guy participated in your torture?
He participated in my torture, and after the torture, when we were being put on a truck, he makes sure he bit my arm. That is why still this finger and this one don't look alike, thanks to him.
What did he do to it?
No, when I was coming.
Yeah. Microphone.
He bit my hand with a very hard object, and my finger nearly got broken.
And you said that together with Almamo Mane, every morning he would come and tell you that, told you something. Could you?
They are waiting for Oga to give them instructions for all 43 of us, 46 of us to be slaughtered. And then, for the first 1 month, every 2 hours at night, they will come and call a register just to make sure we don't sleep.
Do you know who they were referring to as Oga?
Oga was the head of state, Yahya Jammeh.
From that conversation, did you get the impression that they were in fact getting their orders from Yahya Jammeh?
I know that they were getting their orders from Yahya Jammeh because Pa'an was the commander of the army in Fajar barracks. But it was the state guards that came to torture us. That means they had the tacit approval of the head of state because they are supposed to guard this head of state.
Now let's talk about the conditions of your detention at Fajara barracks this time. You said you were detained there for 13 months. The first month you were not allowed to shower, you were not allowed to wash your face. Tell us about family visits. Did you have family visits?
For the 13 months, they didn't allow any member of any family of the 46 people to come for a visit.
How about access to a lawyer?
No access to a lawyer.
How about food?
They were giving us food. Unfortunately, one Lamin Sonko, whom I never knew, came and told me, OJ, we sympathize with you, send me to your wife. I'll go and pick food for you every day at 3 a.m., bring it, you eat, and I take back the things at 4. He was caught and dismissed from the army.
Apart from that, well, after he was dismissed, how were you eating?
The bad food that was provided by our detainers.
Can you describe how the food was served?
Mostly it's just rice with a small piece of bonga on it. And then in the morning is porridge with sometimes no sugar. So we just have to. But fortunately, as time goes on, I think this I want to put on record. We had friends in the camp. And Usain Njai, being the good guy he is, he started giving them, we have people who will smuggle some money for us. And they start making gertesaf from the women in the camp and come and sell it to us. And we eat it at night.
the food that was served by your detainers, were you being served individually or in groups?
No, collectively in groups.
How many to a plate?
Sometimes 10 or 8 of us.
To a plate of what size? Can you indicate
Just
using your hands?
these plates that they use for this house, for these activities.
I have advised members of the public to please remain silent. Don't put